Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talk Sayings. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and this is my second time recording this video because I once again forgot to check the audio from the last video, and I recorded a great video for you guys and there was no audio, so I have to remake the video. That's why this video is coming out a little later. Usually I would post it the day of this the series being over with the Yankees, as the Yankees swept the Royals, but of course this will be coming out probably for you guys Tuesday now, so I was a day late on the video, but it'll be right before the Boston series. It is currently 11:08 p.m. It is still 420. Congrats to all who celebrate. I do not, but let's get right into it. So to open the video, there's really going to be a couple main topics I focus on this video, and it's not going to be so much of a series recap. I will have a Boston kind of preview at the end of the video, so stay tuned in for that. But I want you guys to let me know down in the comments whether you like how Aaron Boone has been implementing Ben Rice into this lineup. Obviously, he has not started every single game this season, and in my opinion, he should have started every single game of the season, obviously, with how good he's been. But I just want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you think about Ben Rice hitting against left-handed pitching. I will pretty much give you my insight now. So, look, my just straight-up opinion is Ben Rice should be playing every day. There's not a single reason that he should not be in the lineup at all. There's not a single reason. But I'll give you his stats to start the season. So far this season, Ben Rice is hitting .338. He has a .476 on-base percentage, an .800 slug, and a 1.276 OPS. I will repeat that again. A 1.276 OPS. I believe it's an 89 at-bats as well. So, of course, it's about just under a fifth of his entire at-bats he would get this season. Maybe like just under a sixth. But it's a pretty decent chunk of at-bats. I can almost guarantee you Ben Rice will be an all-star this year. He also has 8 home runs, which is, I believe, tied for third in the league now. Yordan Alvarez is first with 10. Judge has 9. So Aaron Judge and Ben Rice combined for the most home runs of a duo in any MLB, and of any team in the MLB. And Ben Rice has just been phenomenal this season. But those are just the start. Ben Rice is in the 100th percentile in batting run value, which means he is the best of the best when it comes into batting run value. He's in the 97th percentile in average exit velocity. He's in the 97th percentile in barrel percentage. He's in the 99th percentile in hard hit percentage, and the list goes on. Do yourself a favor. Go to Baseball Savant, look at Ben Rice, look at the numbers. They're absolutely insane. All of his expected numbers, everything about it. Ben Rice has been amazing to start this season, and I don't think just because a lefty's on the mound, he should be taken out of the lineup. Of course, controversy started with Aaron Boone keeping Rice out of the lineup against the Angels in the first and second game of the series because a lefty was pitching. Of course, the first game, Goldie gets the start, which was kind of expected, but the Yankees kind of not beat up on the Angels, obviously, because they only won 11-10, but they scored a lot of runs early. So we saw Ben Rice come in the game pretty early. He pinch hit for Goldie in the 5th inning, so he did end up still getting 2 at-bats. Technically it was 3 at-bats. He did walk once, but he got 3 at-bats that game. So Aaron Boone decided that since there was another lefty on the mound, Reed Detmers, in game 2, that Goldie would get the start once again over Ben Rice. And look, I completely understand it. I know Goldie beats up left-handed pitching, but Ben Rice has been so good to start the season. They have to figure out a way, whether that means he has to catch, whether that means they have to, sit Stanton another day, which Stanton kind of needs it anyways, to have Rice at DH. I don't think there's an excuse on why Rice shouldn't be in the lineup. Of course, Rice is going to get off days throughout the year. You don't want to have the guy play 162. That is obvious. You don't want him to get hurt or anyway, or to gas himself out. As last year, he didn't play 162. The year before that, he was kind of up and down, so he technically hasn't played that full-length season yet. Yes, last year he was on the roster for the full year, but most of his actual games played, where it was like majority of them were starts, but he did get a lot of games where he didn't start, that he'd come into pinch hit. So it was technically a full season, but he had some of that rest time. Of course, towards the end of the year, he was catching a lot more because the Yankees really did see his value. So he played a lot more towards the end of the year, but I don't I'm not saying that Ben Rice should play 162, but, he should only have like one off day every 2 weeks. Truthfully, he's still pretty young, so I don't see why there's any reason Aaron Boone should be leaving Ben Rice out of the lineup. If Aaron Boone continues to do this, I know he's going to get more and more and more issues as it goes. It's just absolutely ridiculous that Aaron Boone has decided not to do so. I mean, he's beat up on lefty pitching every single time he's been in the lineup. It's not like when the lefty's on the mound, Ben Rice completely disappears offensively, and you can't even really make the argument defensively anymore because Goldie is a better defender than Ben Rice, but Ben Rice has definitely improved his first base defense, and I do think it's enough for Ben Rice to just show that he's not really a defensive liability when he's on the field, and he's been basically the best bat in the entire lineup. He's even hit better than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has only really hit more home runs, but Ben Rice is getting on more striking outlets and walking more than Aaron Judge has to start the season. So I don't see a single reason why Ben Rice should be out of the lineup. I think Aaron Boone is absolutely out of his mind when he thinks just because there's a lefty on the mound, Ben Rice should be out. Look, there is, I think, 4, maybe 5 left-handed pitchers in the AL that Ben Rice shouldn't be hitting against. That is Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, and then 2 of them I believe are Carlos Rodon and Max Fried. So 2 of them are on your own team. So I don't see why Aaron Boone would leave Ben Rice out of the lineup. I think it's just an absolutely ridiculous decision. He's been good no matter who has been on the mound, whoever they're going against. I think, I don't know if it's the analytical department making that call or if it's, Aaron Boone actually making that decision himself. I really hope it's the analytical department because Aaron Boone looks so stupid leaving Ben Rice out of the lineup sometimes. He should not be left out of the lineup. He's one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He literally has the best run value in all of baseball. Ben Rice needs to be in the lineup every single day. There's no excuse to it, no matter what. I just don't think there's a reason why. Regardless, if you want to start throwing him at catcher once a week, I do not care what they have to do. I will take the defensive hit because he's so good at the plate. It is worth that. Of course, at some point, we are expecting a Giancarlo Stanton injury. So when that happens, there you go. You really have Ben Rice's abilities to just play every single day, no matter what. Of course, Stanton's not going to be hurt forever, and it is possible they have been a lot more careful with Stanton that he does not have a significant injury this year. He might only miss a little bit of time, but I can almost guarantee you that time will come at some point this season. So, but like I've been saying, Ben Rice, no excuse to leave him out of the lineup. Aaron Boone is out of his goddamn mind if he continues to leave Ben Rice out of the lineup just because a lefty is pitching. I don't think there's a scenario where even late in the game that Ben Rice should be pinch hit for if there's a tough lefty on the mound. I think Ben Rice, no matter what, should be in the lineup, should not be pinch hit for. He should be playing the whole out. If you want to do, we're up 5, I want to get Goldie in a bat and get him, the better defensive first baseman in, that's fine. But close games, there's almost no scenarios where Ben Rice should be either pinch hit for or not in the lineup. So that is my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But the next topic I want to touch on is the Jose Caballero Anthony Volpe situation. Of course, as we all know, Anthony Volpe is expected to come back within the next couple of weeks. The Yankees are trying to get him what they say spring training kind of ramp up. Generally, guys get about 50 to 60 at-bats during spring training, so the Yankees are aiming for 55 at-bats before considering bringing Anthony Volpe back to the Major League roster. He is currently at 11 at-bats right now. He's actually hitting quite well. He's hitting in the 360s. Of course, it's only 11 at-bats, so that's 4 hits and 11 at-bats. But, no shame on Volpe. It's been pretty good. He got a hit off Zach Wheeler as well. I think he hit a home run off Zach Wheeler, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. Maybe just a hit. But Anthony Volpe looks good in the minor leagues so far. Of course, it's only a couple at-bats. But I don't think just because Anthony Volpe has been the starting shortstop for the past 3 years for the Yankees means he is a guaranteed a starting spot when he comes back. In the offseason, Aaron Boone was asked, well, if Jose Caballero starts the season off really, really hot and you are forced, essentially you might be forced to keep him in the lineup. Aaron Boone said, well, let's see him start off hot first. I'm not going to guarantee or say anything. I'm not even going to think of a decision I would make right now. Here's the one thing about Caballero. My assumption when Volpe comes back is that the Yankees will release Randall Grichuk. It makes the most sense. I think the Yankees like JC Escobar too much to either send him to the minors. I think he still can be sent to the minors. I'm not 100% positive, but there might be the scenario that he has to be released because I don't believe he has any more minor league options. I may be wrong about that, so don't quote me on that, but I do believe the Yankees would have to release JC Escobar, so I don't think the Yankees want to do so. I think the most likely to happen when Volpe comes back is Randall Grichuk gets left off the roster. This is simply because Jose Caballero and Ahmed Rosario can play left and right field, and they are right-handed hitters. So why would you keep on Randall Grichuk when you have two guys that can play the exact same position and hit against left-handed pitching? That's basically Grichuk's whole purpose. I don't see any scenario where Grichuk stays on the team when Volpe comes back. The only other guy I could see them moving on from is JC Escobar, which would confirm that you're going to put Ben Rice back into that backup catcher role. And to be completely and 100% honest, Ben Rice is a terrible catcher. He's not good defensively. He cannot throw runners out, so I don't think that's an option, although I wouldn't mind it once a week just to get his continue to keep his bat in the lineup. But Ahmed Rosario, in my opinion, has deserved deserves and earned a spot to play. He has hit against right-handed and left-handed pitching no matter what. Yes, Aaron Boone has kind of pinch hit for him against right-handed pitching, throwing Ryan McMahon in those spots. And it worked the other day. Ryan McMahon hit a 2-run home run Friday night against the Royals and gave the Yankees the lead, which would eventually be the game-winning home run. So it worked out for the Yankees, although Ryan McMahon has struggled this season. I will say this, I think Caballero, no matter what, will likely be in the lineup nearly every single day, even if he's not the starting shortstop. If it's a left-handed pitcher, you're either throwing him in left, third, or second base. Jazz has been so bad this year, I don't think Jazz deserves to start against left-handed pitching. I think he has to prove himself against right-handed pitching before you give him starts against left-handed pitching, because he has not hit right. He hasn't hit nothing. He hasn't done anything. He's still looking for a home run. The first time in his career, it's taken him more than, I think 7 games was the longest in his career so far. So we are well past that. I believe, 21 games in now? So no home run for Jazz so far yet, and he claimed he was going to be a 50-50 guy. But I think Caballero definitely still has an avenue to start nearly every single day. Same thing with Rosario. But like I was saying about Caballero before, it was really not a great start to the season. But over the last 7 games, he's hitting .360. He has a home run. I believe he has 4 RBIs. He has a ton of stolen bases. He's, I think, the leader in stolen bases as of right now. He might be the second now, because I know he didn't get any yesterday, and then Yankees had an off day today, so he might be second now. I don't remember who he was chasing or who he was back and forth with. I do not remember. But of course, you know what you're getting. Jose Caballero has some of the best base running value in all of baseball, and Caballero is a very, very good piece to have off the bench, especially when late in games, when guys like Ben Rice, Giancarlo Stanton, maybe a Grisham or a Ryan McMahon, late in games when even Austin Wells, in the sense of you still have a backup catcher to pinch run, of course, you know he's nearly a guaranteed stolen base, especially if he's going against a reliever with a slow move to home plate. So you're going to guarantee yourself a stolen base. He's one of the best base stealers in all of baseball. So Caballero has so much value even outside of the bat. And defensively, he hasn't been great, I would say, but he hasn't been bad. Volpe was not great defensively either last year. I know he won the Gold Glove his rookie year, but I think that was just because the Gold Glove voting is really awful now. We know who should have won the Gold Glove that year. That was kind of ridiculous that Volpe won it. But technically, he has a Gold Glove. Volpe is a good defender. The claims for last year are that the shoulder injury really hurt his defense. But like I said before, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Yankees set this up, because I do think, because of the versatility with Rosario and Caballero, you're going to see Volpe start immediately as he comes back as the everyday shortstop. But I do think if Volpe struggles and McMahon or Jazz kind of figures it out, that you have no option if Caballero is playing well. Of course, there's multiple things that would have to happen for these scenarios to play out, but as of right now, with how Jazz and McMahon are playing, I don't think you're really worried or you're taking Caballero out of the lineup every single day, because I think because of those struggles from McMahon and Jazz, you have an opportunity to throw Rosario or Caballero in the game, regardless if it's a right-handed or a left-handed pitcher, because you got to win games at the end of the day. If you have two guys that are hitting under 200, you can't play them every single day. You know, Wells, Jazz, McMahon, they've all struggled at the plate so far. I know JC Escara struggled, but he got a couple hits the other day. So I think him just not playing every day is kind of what screws him there. And Randall Grichuk has been awful, but like I said, once Volpe comes back, I don't expect Grichuk to be on the roster anymore. So the Yankees have opportunities to play around with the lineup, especially if Volpe comes back and he starts hitting well. Now you're at the point where it's like, okay, what am I going to keep Rosario and Caballero on the bench when I have McMahon and I have Josh Chisholm Jr. struggling? That would be very stupid. You want your best lineup out there every day. And I don't care the history of either one of those guys. If they're not performing, they're not performing. I know Jazz is a scenario where you do expect him at some point to figure it out. And I truly do expect Jazz to figure it out at some point. But in the case of Ryan McMahon, it would not surprise me not one bit if it just doesn't click for him all season. And although the defense is elite, if that means he has to be a bench piece, a defensive input, late in games, that's what's going to have to be. Rosario has proven himself. Rosario has more home runs than McMahon and Jazz combined, because he's only going against one. So I just think that the infield needs help, and I think with Volpe coming back, you now have the ability to have Rosario, Volpe, and Caballero playing all at the same time, especially against left-handed pitching. And I do think that makes your maybe not defensively better, because I do think that's the worst defensive look you can have, because I do think Jazz and McMahon are better defenders than Rosario. I think Caballero is a better defender than Rosario and Jazz, but I do think McMahon is the superior defender to that entire group, essentially. But I wouldn't be worried so much about defense unless Max Fried's on the mound, to be 100% honest. So the Yankees have a decision to make there. Another decision the Yankees have to make is Luis Hill is getting the Game 1 start against Boston. So with that being said, Luis Hill, as of now, seems like he's going to be the odd man out when Carlos Rodon comes off the IL and starts pitching again. I do think Luis Hill will be used in the piggyback role, be moved into the bullpen, in the sense of when Rodon comes back, obviously he's not immediately going to be able to throw 100 pitches. So when he gets 4 innings, now you have Luis Hill to piggyback him, and that kind of be his role throughout the season, because when Cole comes back, you're going to need that same thing. And then once they're both built up, then you have a long man out of the bullpen. Or if they can work on Hill a little bit, throwing more strikes, you could have a very elite pitcher coming out the bullpen. I do think Will Warren will be the next odd man out. Ryan Weathers has had some poor starts and some amazing starts in between. So I think if Weathers figures it out, he will be the 5th man in the rotation, which this rotation is going to be so nasty when Cole and Rodon come back. But again, the Yankees have another decision to make there. But we will get into, before I end the video, we will get into the Boston series preview. So it is the first series of the rivalry season, and I cannot wait. Although Boston is very bad to start this year, they are 8-13. The Yankees are 13-8. The Yankees should beat them, but it is, the Yankees and Boston play, that's a little more, intense of a series. So it's very possible that Red Sox can pick it up. And I'm praying to God they do not pick it up, because the Yankees need to win more games. The Yankees are in a back and forth with the Rays to start the year for first place. And the Yankees need to just pull away from the Rays, because the Rays are going to be that scrappy team yet again that we thought we finally got away from, but it looks like they're going to be that team yet again. But for Game 1 in Boston, you're going to see Luis Hill versus Connolly Early. Connolly Early is another left-handed pitcher, and I do think at some point in this series, the Yankees have to understand that Grichuk is likely going to be the odd man out, and they need to get Rosario in the outfield. I think either Game 1 or Game 2 against Ranger Suarez, you need to see Rosario in left field to get him more comfortable in the outfield. Not saying he's not comfortable in the outfield, but I want to see him more in that role. I do think Jazz should play against both Connolly Early and Ranger Suarez. I don't think either one of those guys is overpowering, and Jazz should continue to play there. You do, obviously, you want Rosario in against both of those guys. So I think you should see one game, either of the two, Rosario playing third base, and then give McMahon one start against the lefty, just to get Rosario in the outfield. I don't care about Randall Grichuk. He's not going to be on the roster for much longer. I know you want to maybe get him a couple at bats. So one of these games, have Rosario play third and throw Randall Grichuk in left field. But left field in Boston isn't one of the easier left fields in baseball to play. So I do think we should get to see a Rosario start out there. But that is game 1 or game 2. Game 2, like I said, Ranger Suarez pitching for Boston, and we will see Max Fried play again, or pitch for the Yankees. He's our ace. He's our guy. I am expecting a really good start from Max Fried, but Boston, their offense, I know they haven't really clicked too much yet this season. They're a very good offense. And this will not be a series that I think we're just going to roll through Boston. I do think they're going to be close games, but I do think we should at least win the series, even in Boston, because they have not started off the season great. Game 3, we will see our first righty-righty matchup, and that'll be Cam Schlittler and Brian Bale. So before I even talk about this, I want to say this. There are two guys I'm going to talk about, one on the Yankees and one on the Red Sox. First, I will talk about the Yankees guy, Cam Schlittler. Boston fans are sending him and his family death threats. This is going to be his first start in Boston for his career. He has made multiple starts against Boston, but both of those games have been in Yankee Stadium. And why are you guys sending this man death threats? Because he shit on you guys in the postseason and then embarrassed you on Twitter, or X, I'm sorry, really? Come on, man. Look, I know it's not just Boston fans. I know Yankees fans suck too. Look, I've had a personal experience with a Yankees fan. I went to a game with my dad a couple years ago against the Rays, and some dude was yelling, "Go back to Cuba" to Randy Arozarena because he was playing right field. It's Yankee fans too, but just to all fans in general. Why do this to these guys? What's wrong with you people? Seriously, what gets? And even that, those are death threats online. I'll go to the Jaron Duran situation where people were telling him to kill himself in the stands. What's wrong with you? Why are you guys telling people to kill themselves in the stands? What is wrong with you? You guys are not true baseball fans. These are star athletes, but at the end of the day, you have to understand these are people. The man was open and honest about his attempted suicide, and you guys are going to scream in the stands telling him to kill himself. And it wasn't Yankees fans, of course. I don't even remember what team. It doesn't matter what team they were going against. You guys stop. It's so many athletes get so much shit these days. Cam Schlittler is getting shit because he shit on an organization because you guys came in and threw a rookie against a rookie, and our rookie completely fucking rolled over your entire team, okay? So you got Boston fans sending him death threats, and then you got fans around baseball telling Jaron Duran to kill himself. I mean, and now the guy's coming out and said it's his own fault. I feel so bad for Jaron Duran. I know he's a Red Sox, but I really like Jaron Duran as a player. I think he's a great player, and I don't get why fans do this, but besides the point, Game 3 should be good. I'm really excited for the first, rivalry series of the season, and I do expect the Red Sox to get better, although they have made a bad start. I do expect them to get better, and it'd be a fun season going against the Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees-Red Sox baseball is always super fun to watch. But as a little recap of the video, of course, Ben Rice needs to start every day. I do think Caballero should have an opportunity to take the starting shortstop role if things pan out in the infield where Jazz starts hitting a little bit better. And then, of course, the Boston series preview. I'm really excited for that. But that is where I'm going to end the video today. So if you were watching on YouTube side, I appreciate it. If you're listening on the podcast side, I appreciate you as well. As we continue to grow, I will continue to say thank you. I love every one of you guys, and I love all the support. It might not be amazing. Not every video goes crazy, but anything little is always appreciated. I appreciate every last one of you guys. Again, as I say in every video, I have started my own company. Me and my partner have started our own web company, online company basically. So if you need any editing services, whether that's for videos, pictures, whatever the situation is, you need website design, you need production services, you just need ideas, feel free to go to our website and contact us. It'll be in the description below. I'm very reasonable, so don't be afraid to ask. And that is where I'm going to end the video today. So as always, I hope everybody has a wonderful day, night, whatever time of the day it is, and of course, go Yankees.